So sorry, apologies in advance. Morning, Harry. Are you going to visit your dad, Harry?
Harry is in court right now for what is day 2 in his case against the British government and what is essentially his last chance to change their stance on his security status. Now, since Harry is no longer a working royal, the government here decided to change his security protection, offering him that state-funded police protection on a case-by-case basis only. It's something Harry's lawyers argue is simply not enough. Now, guys, Harry could hire his own security team when he visits, but under UK law, they cannot carry firearms. Only police here can carry guns. In the past, Harry proposed to personally pay for this police protection, but a judge struck down that when a government lawyer argued that police are not, quote, bodyguards for the wealthy. Now, Harry says he is fighting this fight for his kids and that right now he feels that it's unsafe to bring them here to the UK under the current security setup. And as of today, Archie and Lilibet, they haven't visited the UK or, guys, seen their grandfather, King Charles. Remember, he was diagnosed with cancer last year since
The British monarchy is facing one of its most serious legal challenges in modern history, with Prince Harry at the centre of a growing storm. What began as a media-focused lawsuit has spiralled into a full-blown legal scandal that now threatens both Harry's reputation and the integrity of the royal institution. At the heart of the issue are explosive claims made by a senior judge accusing the Duke of Sussex of deliberately misleading the court. These aren't minor criticisms. They involve potential criminal behaviour, including dishonesty in sworn testimony and misuse of his royal status during legal proceedings.
Evidence that Harry is at war with absolutely everyone, not only individual members of his family and, of course, the boss of his charity. He's now taking on the government, saying they should have never discontinued his police protection. And I just think what a legacy he's creating for himself as well. And I think the whinging and the moaning and those front page headlines really encapsulate how I think people feel about Harry at the moment too. And also, let's address this conspiracy theory that he's introduced, a rather robust one, saying that the privileges were stripped from him and Meghan in order to force them to stay in the UK as working royals. Now, if that's true, that would have been something that would have been presumably signed off by the Queen when they had the Mexit summit in Sandringham in 2020. This is before, of course, Harry and Meghan actually left the country. Now, I find it, if those threats were made very transparent to the royal family at the time, especially the Al-Qaeda threat, he's basically saying they were playing mind games in order to keep him in the country. I just find it absolutely staggering that the Queen would sign off on something like this, and also Charles and William, who of course were at that summit too, despite the bad blood clearly that was between them at the time.
Legal experts have called the judge's remarks stunning and nearly without precedent, noting that such strong language against a royal figure marks a major departure in British legal tradition. What was once a civil case is now being treated as a potential criminal investigation, with prosecutors digging into whether Harry obstructed justice or withheld vital evidence during the trial. According to sources close to the case, investigators are now looking beyond courtroom testimony. Prosecutors are exploring whether Prince Harry breached confidentiality agreements, withheld key evidence, or interfered with the judicial process, allegations that, if proven, could carry criminal consequences. Legal insiders stress that this is no longer just about technical missteps. These are serious accusations that could result in charges like obstruction of justice, an extraordinary possibility for a senior royal.
Is there any part of this that appears substantive? Obviously, he lost at first instance. This is an appeal. But is there any good that can really come of this for him?
Well, even if he does technically win the appeal, there's nothing to say that the security privileges will be reinstated, and what he will be left with is a very bad taste in the mouth of obviously the Met Police and the Home Office as well, who will be reluctant to engage with him on any level, I think, after this, given he's really taken them on. I mean, to actually sue the Met Police and the government, I think, is a crazy decision. Very unlikely to win in a way, but he's done it as a point of principle. In fact, he described this court case, while harrowing and emotionally draining for him to attend and actually hear the evidence, especially the secret evidence, which he says vindicated his position, to actually keep pursuing in this way just seems a bit...
The mere fact that authorities are investigating a prince this closely shows how much the legal tide has turned. Once protected by royal tradition, Harry now faces the same level of scrutiny as any citizen, and the case could redefine how the monarchy is treated under the law. As Prince Harry's legal woes grow more serious, Meghan Markle's role in the background is drawing increased scrutiny. Palace insiders and former aides suggest that Meghan has been more than just a supportive spouse. She has actively influenced key decisions in the case, helping shape Harry's confrontational approach toward both the press and the courts. Sources claim she had access to private legal communications and strategic documents, even though she wasn't officially involved in the case. That access is raising ethical concerns, with legal experts warning that Meghan's involvement crosses into legally murky territory. When someone without formal standing influences court proceedings, it can challenge the fairness and transparency of the case. Even more concerning are reports that Meghan encouraged Harry to stick to a firm narrative during testimony, despite being advised that such a stance could backfire. Her determination to take on the British press, a fight she's never shied away from, may have intensified the risks Harry now faces.
So sorry, apologies in advance. Morning, Harry. Are you going to visit your dad, Harry? Harry, are you going to go and see the king? Are you going to speak to your dad?
Critics argue that the intersection of royal image, personal ambition, and legal strategy has created a volatile mix. What started as a media lawsuit has now turned into a broader crisis, one where Meghan's behind-the-scenes role may have quietly but significantly pushed it over the edge. Meghan's deep involvement in Harry's legal case has sparked backlash among legal experts and royal insiders alike. While spouses often provide support, Meghan's reported access to confidential strategies and influence over Harry's decisions has raised concerns about crossing ethical lines. Critics say she may have urged Harry to ignore legal advice and stay combative in court, a move that could have worsened his position. The idea that a non-royal-born spouse could help steer a case with national implications is unsettling to both the legal system and the monarchy. Prince Harry's transformation over the past few years has been striking. Once admired as the bold royal who stepped away from tradition in pursuit of independence and privacy, he's now facing growing criticism over how he's handled his break from the monarchy, especially in the courtroom. What started as a stand against media intrusion has morphed into a legal saga that many see as self-inflicted. His recent court defeat not only weakened his claims but cast doubt on his honesty and judgment. The prince, who once spoke of transparency and accountability, is now accused of misleading the court and misusing his status. Observers say this shift may have lasting consequences, not just for Harry, but for how the legal system deals with royalty. His loss signals a major shift. Royal privilege is no longer an unbreakable shield, and the courts are ready to hold even a prince accountable. Legal experts widely agree the tone of the judge's ruling against Prince Harry wasn't just critical, it was historic. For a member of the royal family to be accused of misleading the court and misusing his influence signals a dramatic departure from the deferential treatment royals have traditionally received in the British legal system. While the monarchy has weathered scandals before, from Princess Diana's revelations to Prince Andrew's downfall, few cases have crossed into the realm of potential criminal prosecution. Harry's case appears to be doing just that, with prosecutors reportedly weighing charges like obstruction of justice and breach of court orders. The stakes have never been higher. This isn't just about Harry anymore. The case has become a test of how far the rule of law extends, even into the palace. The very fact that prosecutors are openly considering charges shows that royal status no longer guarantees immunity. In a post-monarchy world where transparency is demanded and legal systems face growing pressure to treat all citizens equally, Harry's situation may become the defining example of how royalty is held accountable in the modern era. As the legal drama unfolds, the public remains deeply divided. To supporters, Harry is a whistleblower, someone who dared to challenge a powerful monarchy and an even more powerful press. They argue he's being punished not for wrongdoing, but for speaking uncomfortable truths and walking away from royal tradition. They see the legal scrutiny as part of a broader effort to discredit both Harry and Meghan, especially after their high-profile interviews and public criticisms of the institution. To them, this is a targeted takedown disguised as due process. But critics see something very different. They accuse Harry of using his title to wage personal battles and manipulate public sympathy. His refusal to follow legal advice, his courtroom losses, and his aggressive approach have turned many former supporters into skeptics. For them, this case isn't about justice, it's about ego. Both sides agree on one thing. This moment is bigger than Harry. It's forcing a national conversation about privilege, power, and how the legal system should treat those born into royalty. What began as a case about unethical media practices has shifted focus dramatically. Instead of scrutinizing the press, headlines are now dominated by Harry's courtroom behavior, strategy, and credibility. Analysts say it's a stunning reversal. The man who sued to hold the media accountable has become the story himself. Legal missteps, conflicting statements, and behind-the-scenes leaks have fueled the narrative that Harry may have overreached. Every move he makes is dissected in public, often overshadowing the original aim of the lawsuit. The press coverage has been relentless, but many argue Harry invited the scrutiny. By taking such a combative approach and turning legal battles into public campaigns, he's exposed himself to the same media machine he once fought to escape. Now, instead of challenging press misconduct, the spotlight is fixed on a royal who may have damaged his own credibility far more than the tabloids ever did. As Prince Harry's legal situation grows more serious, Buckingham Palace remains notably quiet. There have been no official statements, no public shows of support or disapproval, just a wall of silence that many believe is calculated. But behind palace doors, insiders suggest that this silence masks deep concern and confusion over how to respond. Unlike past royal controversies that involve discreet settlements or behind-the-scenes damage control, this case is unfolding in full view of the public and potentially the criminal courts. That makes it harder for the palace to rely on its usual playbook. Senior courtiers are reportedly divided. Some want to publicly distance the royal family from Harry's actions, while others worry that doing so would appear cold and retaliatory. There's also the question of timing. If prosecutors move forward with criminal charges, the monarchy may be forced to take a more definitive stance. Some experts believe this could mean further restrictions on Harry's involvement in royal events, or even a formal statement clarifying that he no longer represents the crown in any capacity. For now, though, the royal family is gambling on silence. But with each new development, that strategy grows riskier. The longer they wait, the more they risk appearing complicit or indifferent to the gravity of the case. The mere fact that authorities are investigating a prince this closely shows how much the legal tide has turned. Once protected by royal tradition, Harry now faces the same level of scrutiny as any citizen, and the case could redefine how the monarchy is treated under the law. As Prince Harry's legal woes grow more serious, Meghan Markle's role in the background is drawing increased scrutiny. Palace insiders and former aides suggest that Meghan has been more than just a supportive spouse. She has actively influenced key decisions in the case, helping shape Harry's confrontational approach toward both the press and the courts. Sources claim she had access to private legal communications and strategic documents, even though she wasn't officially involved in the case. That access is raising ethical concerns, with legal experts warning that Meghan's involvement crosses into legally murky territory. When someone without formal standing influences court proceedings, it can challenge the fairness and transparency of the case. Even more concerning are reports that Meghan encouraged Harry to stick to a firm narrative during testimony, despite being advised that such a stance could backfire. Her determination to take on the British press, a fight she's never shied away from, may have intensified the risks Harry now faces. Both sides agree on one thing. This moment is bigger than Harry. It's forcing a national conversation about privilege, power, and how the legal system should treat those born into royalty. What began as a case about unethical media practices has shifted focus dramatically. Instead of scrutinizing the press, headlines are now dominated by Harry's courtroom behavior, strategy, and credibility. Analysts say it's a stunning reversal. The man who sued to hold the media accountable has become the story himself. Legal missteps, conflicting statements, and behind-the-scenes leaks have fueled the narrative that Harry may have overreached. What happens next will not only shape Harry's personal legacy, but may also trigger lasting changes in how the monarchy navigates public accountability. For a royal institution already under pressure to modernise, this could be a defining test of its ability to evolve, or its unwillingness to confront uncomfortable truths. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other stories shaping British politics.